All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 p.m. We're going to go ahead and get started. Hi, this is the State Expedited Accusations calendar in the State Court of Fulton County, Georgia. I'm Judge Melanie Williams, and today is February the 24th of 2024. This calendar is for those individuals who have been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused by the Solicitor General's office and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney at this proceeding today. All participants, this proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It is also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this. When I ask if you understand your rights, I'm asking if you understand the rights I just explained and how I'm conducting this hearing today. Ms. Bridgewater, what is my reset date?
Yes, Your Honor. The reset date for the SAP calendar is March the 7th.
All right. Those who receive a signature bond will be reset for the notice. Those who receive a surety or a cash bond will be reset to the March 7th SAP calendar, where certain aspects of the case, including contact and bond amounts, can be revisited. Who do we have first, courtroom 2?
Before we start, Your Honor, we have a couple of announcements. Position number 1, waived his appearance. Position number 3, waived. And position number 6 is a reset.
Okay. Is it medical?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. And we'll start with position number 2, Mr. Ferrier.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Ferrier. Your case is 24 CR 0000883. In this case, you're charged with obstruction with the offense date of February the 21st. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Second arrest, 2023, entering auto. That's open in Coweta County.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jones, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. So on February 24th, 2021, officers were dispatched to 3523 Camp Creek Parkway to the This Is It location for a suspicious person. When they arrived, they did make contact with the defendant, and officers told him to gather his belongings and leave the location. However, he refused to gather his belongings, therefore giving the rise for the willful obstruction of law enforcement officer. The state is going to ask that the defendant's bond remain at the preset amount of $1,000 surety bond, stay away from 3523 Camp Creek Parkway, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right. Who represents this defendant? Is it Mr. Cook?
Yes, I'm not. Is my video working? I don't.
We can't see you, Mr. Cook.
Okay,
You're dark
does it?
square.
It looks like it's on. Does anybody have any? It's never happened to me before. So does anybody have
It's happened to me a few times where if you're on the county laptop in particular. All right, Mr. Cook, we're gonna accept that you're here. We will believe that it's you. Sounds like you, so we'll go with it. Mr.
Well,
Cook,
nobody would impersonate me, would they? Who would want to be me?
You
right?
never know. You
Yeah, I
never
don't
know. All right, Mr. Cook, in light of the information before me, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail with a requirement that he stay away from that location. Is there anything you'd like to add or any objections you have to that?
Nothing, no objection to that, Your Honor.
All right. In light of the information before me, defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. He is to absolutely stay away from that This Is It location on Camp Creek Parkway and have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything further from state or defense?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Don't go back to that. This is it. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 4, Mr. Ryer.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Please come quickly. Your case is 24 CR 0000885. You are charged with theft by shoplifting. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
39 totals. 2023 probation, terrorist threats, 2 counts. Disorderly conduct. 2022 trespass. 2021 disorderly conduct trespass. 2020 shoplifting conviction. He got a shoplifting from 2017, along with the trespass, ag assault, simple battery. 2016 pandering conviction.
Okay. Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. So back on February 20th of 2023, officers responded to 844 Cleveland Avenue, which is the
Walmart.
Walmart, and asset protection advised that he had witnessed the defendant, scanned one bag of dog food at the self-checkout. However, he then attempted to swipe a EBT card. As expected, the payment declined, and the defendant passed all points of sale without paying for the item. Therefore, given the nature of the defendant's criminal history, the fact that this is allegedly intentional, swiping an EBT card versus a debit card, the state is making a recommendation of a $2,500 surety bond. Stay away from all Walmarts and no alcohol, drugs, and or weapons.
All right. Is this you again, Mr. Cook?
Yes, it is.
All right, please proceed.
Your Honor, my client is 43 years old. He is disabled. He's on SSI. He's lived in the Atlanta area his entire life. We have no issue with any stay away provision, but we would hope to keep this as an SOB bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
All right. Defendant's going to receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to stay away from that particular Walmart. I won't ban him from all of them. And additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 5, Mr. Hernandez.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Hernandez. Your case is 24 CR 000886. You're charged with 1 count of pandering. You understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Howard?
5 total. Last arrest, I got a 2020 hit and run conviction, probation. 2019 simple battery, 3 counts, 2 counts of battery DV, trespass, hindering, conviction. 2017 battery DV, ag assault conviction. And he's on probation for that until 2026.
Okay. Ms. Bickerstaff, please proceed.
Yes, good afternoon, Judge Williams.
Good afternoon.
So on yesterday, February 23rd, 2024, at 10975 Georgia Lane in Alpharetta, Georgia, officers were working an operation in the area for prostitution, and Officer Mikado was connected via text messaging through a covert record line by the defendant. They agreed to meet up for a quick visit for the price of $120. The defendant stated that he was 30 minutes away, and when the defendant arrived to the area in the room that they communicated about through the text messages, that's when officers took down the defendant. For these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $1,200 surety bond, 1 decision in law class, and 40 hours of community service.
I'm sorry, what was that type of class again?
It's a decision in law class.
Okay, I've not heard of that class. What kind of class is that? I'm just curious.
Yes, it's just a class where defendants like learn some of Georgia law and like when you commit certain crimes, what happens, like responsibility awareness.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Armstrong, please proceed.
Yes, Judge, good afternoon. We're asking for a $1,200 signature bond just due to the nature of the charges and due to the fact that he's still on felony probation. I asked Your Honor to consider that, and I'm sure felony probation will take care of Mr. Hernandez with respect to any classes he needs to complete. That's all I have for the court.
Okay. All right. That's a new one. Okay, defendant is going to receive $1,000 surety bond. And of course, he's to have no alcohol, no drugs, or weapons as a condition. All right. Anything further from State of Defense?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 7, Mr. Kelly.
Okay. Mr. Kelly, your case is 24 CR 0000888. In this case, you're charged with 2 counts of battery family violence. Do you understand?
Ma'am.
I'm sorry, is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard, can I have his history, please?
14 total. Most of his history is driving. I didn't see any violence.
Okay. Ms. Bickerstaff.
Yes, Your Honor. So on earlier this morning, February 24th of this year, officers arrived at 1190 Woodland Avenue, where they spoke with Miss Marlene Alga. She explained that her and the defendant have been arguing. The two have been living together for the last 6 months. And in the midst of this argument, the defendant threw a glass at her. She moved out of the way, but a piece of the glass hit her and it cut her arm. She also informed officers that the defendant tried to bite her face. Officers did know a cut on her arm from the glass and a bite mark on her face. Officers noted that they took pictures of her injuries. Our office was able to speak to Miss Alga today. She let us know that they've been together for the past two years and that she's 5 months pregnant with the defendant's child. She let us know that they don't have a domestic violence history, but she is afraid of him sometimes because he's verbally abusive towards her. She also confirmed all of the events in the report, Your Honor. So for these reasons, for both counts of battery, well, for count 1 of battery, it's a $2,000 surety bond, 6 weeks of anger management, 40 hours of community service, no further contact with Miss Alga, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And then for the second count of battery family violence, it's the same conditions, a $2,000 surety bond, 6 weeks of anger management, 40 hours of community service, as well as no further contact with Miss Alga, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And I'm not sure if Miss Alga's on Zoom, but I would like to sound for her.
All right, Ms. Alga, if you are present and wish to make a statement, this is your opportunity. And I don't see anyone logged in with that name. Ms. Armstrong, please proceed.
Yes, Judge, thank you. We're asking for a $1,000 signature bond on both charges, considering my client's lack of criminal history. Both parties are on the lease at this location, but my client does have an Atlanta address where he could live. I can provide that to the court as needed. We'd also ask for no further violent contact due to the fact that they're expecting a child in July, and my client would be absolutely devastated if he missed the birth of his child. And he does financially support them. He earns a nice salary. So we would ask that he remain in her life so he can continue to financially support them.
Your Honor, the state would just ask that there be it hasn't been an adequate cooling off period. This just happened this morning.
I haven't heard from Miss Alga either, so that is not what we're going to do at this point. Of course, contact can be revisited. Yes, and I do appreciate the state's position. All right. In light of the information before me, defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 1, $2,500 on each count. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim at this time. Of course, contact can be revisited at a later date, as I have not yet heard from the alleged victim in this case. He is to stay away from that location. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement should he need to collect any items. He's also going to take the 1-day anger awareness course. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Can someone put the victim's name in the chat so that I can get it, please?
Thank you, Ms. Bickerstaff. If you would do that, I would appreciate it.
Your Honor, could I get the name of the defendant again? I'm keeping the calendar here.
Oh, I've closed it down. I'm sorry. I think it was Mr. Kelly.
Yeah,
Quentin Kelly, position 7.
Okay,
Quentin
thank you.
Kelly.
Thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Thank you.
Next, we have position number 8, Mr. Lattimore.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Lattimore. Your case is 24 CR 0000889. You're charged with simple battery in a public transit station. Do you understand your rights this morning? Afternoon, actually.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right. Mr. Howard?
6 total. 2018 battery DV, 07 probation.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident happened yesterday, February 23rd, 2023. The defendant, who is a bus operator for MARTA, opened the bus doors for Miss Carly Marion. And moments later, the defendant quickly walked to the front of the bus where she was standing he was standing in between Miss Marion, and he prevented her from paying her bus fare. And so the defendant then grabbed Miss Marion and pushed her off the bus in front of her 4-year-old child. Your Honor, given those facts in the warrant and his criminal history for battery, he was convicted of battery and simple battery in 1996, and then another battery charge in 2006, and then most recently a simple battery in 2019. The state's recommendation for bond is a $10,000 surety bond, 6 anger management classes, no further contact with Miss Marion, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, is Ms. Marion present, wishes to make a statement? All right, Ms. Armstrong. And I'm sorry, Ms. Bickerstaff, you said he is the bus operator? He was the bus driver?
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Ms. Armstrong, please proceed.
Yes, Judge, thank you. Yes, Mr. Lattimore has been a bus driver with MARTA for at least 2 years. The facts are that the alleged victim in this case was attempting to evade fare, and when my client confronted her about it, she reacted violently, and anything that happened subsequent to that was in self-defense. In fact, it appeared that the alleged victim in this case was using her daughter to attempt to evade fare by having the daughter push the gate to leave the MARTA station. So the state's facts in this case are fantastical. My client has a couple of DV cases, but has nothing to do with the allegations before Your Honor, and we're asking for a signature bond in this matter.
Okay. And did the state, you did not request any type of, I guess there's no stay away that would be appropriate here.
Yeah, I didn't think a stay away from his job, just to have, no further contact with the victim.
They're strangers. That's not going to be a problem.
Right. Okay. Defendant is going to receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case. And additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing from the state.
No, Judge, thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have position number 9, Mr. Smith.
All right, Mr. Smith, your case is 24 CR 000890. Is the courtroom clear?
Courtroom is clear, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, I will not sound this charge. Ms. Lewis, will you please turn off the live stream?
The state would